All right, the other day we talked about our grayscale and our ellipse scale, and then just drawing cones and cylinders and spheres correctly above, on, and below the eye line. So now let's talk about shading those objects, okay? We are going to basically take the grayscale that we did, starting at black on one end and moving all the way up to white on the other end and having 8 different grays there. And basically what you're going to do is wrap that grayscale around your objects. All right? So if I have my eye line up here, there we go. Yep, we can see that good. All right, and then I put my cylinder. We're going to do cylinders first because they're the easiest ones to shade, okay? So if I put my cylinder here, like that, and I draw the bottom of my cylinder like that. There we go. All right, now the bottom of the cylinder is more rounded than the top because the top is closer to the eye line. So that's how you need to draw it. The top would be thinner, the bottom would be more rounded, and then we need to apply our shading. Now the shading we're going to apply is above front left, above front right, and above. So if I start here this way, above front left, there we go. So there's my arrow. We're going above front left. I may not get all of the shades here, but I'm just going to show you how the grayscale lays on this object. So, well, if I can get it to draw, there we go. Okay. Now, I'm sure I didn't get all of the grays and everything on there, but that's how the grayscale lays on there. So, when we shaded our grayscale, there we go. We shaded it up and down like that. This up here, right here would be the white, and this down here would be the black. Okay, so now we're going to turn it sideways like that. There we go. Like that, and we're going to wrap it around the cylinder. Okay, now from where the light is coming from, the white in our grayscale never touches the edge of the object because the edge of the object is curving. This thing curves like this. So as the edge right here curves away from you, it grays down a shade. So this is actually going to be gray 1. Your white is actually going to be here in the second spot. All right? Then you're going to have gray 1, 2, 3, all the way across until you get to gray 8, right there, black, and then gray 8 again there. So that's just going to blend over that direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, black, and 8. You can't see the W on the white very good. There we go. That's a little better. All right. And that gray 1 is in that whole spot, and the white is that whole spot, 1, 2, etc. Okay? I hope that makes sense because that's the way we laid our grayscale on there. The reason, like I said, that happens is because the edge here turns away from you. It's not really, you're not portraying a flat object. So you have to have it turn and go away from you. And as things turn and go away from you, they gray down a shade. Okay? And then the top, where it's closest to me, this front edge right here, okay, that front edge right there is white. All right? And as it goes back into space, back that way, it blends back to gray 1. So it blends from the front to the back. From white, all along this edge, all the way back to gray 1. So it's just a 1 shade change, but it blends back that way. Okay? Now, if we do the same thing over here, like that, and we move the light source to the right, then everything we just did, there we go, that's better. Everything we just did here is just going to flip over here. So you're going to have black, excuse me, let's try that again. We're going to have gray 8, black, 8, 7, 6, all the way over here to white, 1, white, and 1. So it's just going to be the opposite of this over here because the light moved over there. We just take that and we flip it over. Okay? Same thing happens. This is the full length of the cylinder, all of these different shades. And then the top doesn't change. It's still white, going back to gray 1 back there. All right. All right, so that's left and right. Let's do this one from the center, from above. Okay. So we put the light above right there. Now the white moves to the middle. So the white is here in the middle, gray 1 on either side, and then it blends over that way, and it blends over that way to 8, black, and 8, and over here, same thing, 8, black, and 8 over that way. So you just blend both directions, your white is in the middle, and the top doesn't change. It's still white, going back into space to gray 1. Okay? I'll show you some of these in my sketchbook when we finish so that you can see the finished product. All right? So hopefully that's good on the cylinders. Now, as far as the cones are concerned, I'm going to do the same thing with them. I'm going to put the big end up top so you can see how it's done. And then the cone is going to come down this way. There we go. Same thing here. Like that. All right. Now we're going to stay with the above front left right there. The top doesn't change. It's just like the cylinder. It's white to 1. Over here, we're going to leave that one straight up and down from the center. And it doesn't change. It's still white to 1. And the only difference between this and the cone is your grayscale makes little triangles. Like that come from the tip, okay? Just like that. Same thing over there. I'm not going to draw those. But it looks like little triangles coming from the tip. Over here, same thing. Your white is in the second spot. My marker's not wanting to write. There we go. 1 all the way over to 8, black, and 8. Just like it did on the cone. If we were to move it over here, then this would just flip like it did on the cone. The white would be here, the black would be here, everything would blend over the same way. All right? In the middle, same thing happens. The white is in the middle, and 1, and then it blends all the way out to 8, black, and 8, and 8, black, and 8. Same thing, same triangular shapes. that doesn't change. Okay? So that takes care of your cones. Now the spheres are the hardest ones to shade. Okay, there and there. I'm going to leave this coming from here, and I'm going to leave this going from there. All right. The reason that spheres are so hard to shade is not only are they curving this direction, but they're also curving this direction. Same thing here. They're curving this direction and they're curving this direction. So when you put your white in place, it's actually an ellipse. And it goes right there because that's where the light's coming from. This one, it goes right there. So there's your white, and there's your white. There we go. Can't see that very well, but that's the white. And then everything works elliptical. Like that. Same thing over here. Everything works elliptical like that. And I know I don't have all of the stuff in there, but that's the way it goes. So this is going to be 1 right here. And this is going to be 1. And then this is 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down to 8, black, and 8. Okay? Same thing over here. Your 1 is here, and then 2, 3, 4, there we go, 5, all the way down to 8, black, and 8, going that way. All right? Now, if you move this over here, then this thing just rotates so that the white is here, the black is down here, and it does just like that one. Now, as you're shading these, I told you this curves this way and this way. So by the time the by the time the gray 8 or the gray 5 or the gray 3 gets over here to the edge, it's gone down to 2. And this one's gone down to 7. Same thing over here. As it gets over here to the edge, it goes down to 7. The 3 goes down to 2. So you got to kind of blend this way and that way, but your white is going to be right there, right where the light's coming. And your black is always going to be opposite the light. Same thing here. Your white's always going to be where the light is shining, and the black is always going to be opposite. And then by the time these get out here, they're going to gray down a shade. Now, while I have this here, I'm going to quickly just show you the bottom of the cone and the bottom of the sphere. Both are exactly the same. All right? So if my eye line was down here, like that, and I'm just doing them separate just so you can see each one. And this, let's say that's the cone, and that's above the eye line. There's the eye line. And this is the cylinder. There we go. This part doesn't change. This part doesn't change. This would still be 1 and white and 1 all the way across to 8 black and 8. And same thing here. This would be 1 white and 1 all the way across to 8 black and 8. So this part doesn't change, but this does because the light's coming from here, and this is underneath, and it cannot be hit by light anymore. So now when it's above the eye line, it's black where it's closest to me, and as it goes back into space, it goes back to gray 8. Same thing happens over here. It's black on the front edge where it's closest to you, and as it goes back into space, it's gray 8. Okay? So that's your cones and your cylinders and your spheres and how to shade them. All right? Let me erase this and pull my sketchbook so that you can see the actual thing. All right. Let me get my hand out of the way. See if I can move a little closer. There we go. That's a little better. So you can see up here at the top, it's black to 8 underneath. There's my white over there. On the edge is gray 8, and it blends over there to the black, and the edge is gray 8. The white is in the middle, and it goes to gray, black and gray 8 on both sides. You can see the light's coming from here, so there's my white, there's my black over here, and each one of them. The arrow is important, okay? The arrow is important. I cannot tell if you know what you're doing if you don't have the arrow in place. If you have the arrow coming from over here and you have it shaded like this or like this, then you don't understand what's going on, and I need to help you, okay? So make sure on the ones that are done in pencil, there's one of each, cone, cylinder, and sphere. So there's 3 spheres, or excuse me, 3 cylinders, 3 cones, 3 spheres, shaded with pencil from above front left, above, and above front right for each one of them. See, above, above left, above right, above left, above. This is in its learning. Just copy the page. You have your eye line in the middle, one above, one on, one below, plus the light source, and shaded correctly. Now, once you do this, you need to do them also in color. So here they are in color. Same thing occurs. It just is with color. Now, the difference between color and pencil is if you want pencil, like this, to be darker, all you do is press down harder with the pencil. It gets darker. When you have colored pencil, you can't do that. If you press down harder with a red-violet colored pencil, it just gets more red-violet. It does not get darker. It gets more orange. It gets more yellow. It gets more yellow-green. It does not darken the colored pencil. You have to add regular pencil to the dark side. Regular pencil has been added there, has been added up here just barely in the background back here. You can do that with any color. Add regular pencil with the exception of yellow, yellow-orange, and orange. When you have yellow, yellow-orange, and orange, you can't add pencil to them. It will make them a nasty color. It will change the color and they won't look right. You have to add brown to this and brown to this. If you have a dark brown in your colored pencils, that's perfect. If you have a dark brown and you also have an orangey brown, like a terracotta or a mahogany, that's even better. You'll get a better blend, okay? Now, as you can see with all of these and all of these, you're doing exactly the same thing here as you are here. Are you going to get every single shade from black all the way over? Probably not. but just try the best you can to make as good a blend as you can. And make it the black over here, the white over there. Make sure they don't touch the side right here. They don't touch the side here and here because the side is turning away from you, so it grays down. So that will help you making things look as natural and as round and realistic as possible. All right, so there's your next exercise in your sketchbook.